I had the mentality that I could reach out to literally anybody and use my Explore page and For You page as a dating app, and eventually I would just happen to find the right person, but that's just not how dating works, literally at all. It's gross, it's weird, and it's desperation.
Hey, what is up, you guys? It's Dustin, and I'm back with an impromptu video. Now, if you have not been on the internet for a while, then you may not know what's going on with James Charles. Now, the story is starting to blow up, and as you may know, I have reported on James Charles ad nauseum on this channel, and I've tried to hold him accountable. He even posted a video holding himself accountable where he talked about the things that he's done in the past, and he's still doing the same things years later. So just because Jaclyn Hill said we don't come with receipts, we're going to be talking about James Charles and rehashing his video that he uploaded talking about holding himself accountable, because if you don't know, there's this new person that came out and said that James Charles was in their DM. Now, I'm going to give it to James. He actually did ask for the person's age. However, everything after that was just a mess. So what I wanted to do first is go through this old holding myself accountable video that James Charles posted and then deleted, because I think that this is very important, because there are people like Manny MUA out here that are defending James Charles still to this day and still just glossing over what he has done in the past, and they think that that's okay, and it's just absolutely not. There have been people defending him that I'm mind boggled and mind blown by, like Denisha Carter. Like, I love fucking Denisha Carter. Like, she is an amazing, overwhelmingly positive person, and she will get a bitch together really quickly. But the fact that there's people that are defending James in this situation is really bothersome to me. So we're going to talk about it, and that's what this video is going to be. So what I want to do first is go through parts of this holding myself accountable video that James posted and deleted, because it's still pertinent today with the things that he's doing. So let's do it.
Have recently come forward saying that they had inappropriate messages with me on social media. One of them being from last year and one of them being from more recent. In both of these cases, I added these people on Snapchat, asked how old they were right away, was told that they were 18, believed them, engaged in a flirty conversation, and then later on found out that they were actually 16.
Okay. Stop right there. Like, okay, so James Charles actually did DM with this person, and I just want to say that people that are straight that are baiting James, that's wrong. Like, we all know, and James Charles is very aware that people are going to do this with him. They've done it in the past. They're going to continue to do it in the future if he doesn't shut it down. Now, I could be completely wrong. I could be completely mistaken, but I believe in the past, and it may even be in this video, we'll see, that James Charles said that he was going to stop trying to pull from the pool of his followers to find this elusive, illustrious boyfriend, and it just hasn't happened, because we're in 2023. We're in the first week. This is the last day of the first week of 2023, and somehow all of the things that have been alleged against James Charles are coming back to light. And it's James Charles's own fault, because he is incapable of doing what he says he is going to do. He literally said that he is not going to try to talk to people on the internet anymore. Mind-boggling.
Upon finding out, I was immediately embarrassed and blocked both people. Later on, when I saw them making videos about it and those videos going viral, my immediate reaction, completely honestly, was to be really, really upset. I wanted to get on camera and film another No More Lies video where I gather all my receipts and all my screenshots and try to tell my side of the story and then just move on from the situation. And now, looking back, that was so stupid, because as I did more research on these topics and self-reflected, I realized that the receipts and the screenshots and these...
The echo in this video is terrible. I just now realized this, and this is like my millionth time watching this.
Specific details of the interaction really don't matter, because I fucked up. And I needed to take accountability for my actions, and most importantly, apologize to the people that were affected by them. These conversations should have never happened, point blank period. There's no excuse for it, there's no ifs, ands, or buts, and I take full responsibility for that. I trusted the information that was given to me rather than the information I could have and should have gotten myself. In both of these situations, doing research into these people's public social media profiles would have revealed their true ages, and therefore these conversations would have never happened in the first place, but I didn't do the research.
This is a good point. James Charles literally admits that he has been negligent in the past with doing things that could protect him in his career, but somehow here we are. And I get it. Like, I understand that people are going to bait him. He is literally James Charles. He has the ability to mingle and meet new people better probably than anyone else in the world. He can travel the world. He can do whatever. He has a limitless bank account. Why is it that he still continues to try to pull followers from the internet? If you're going to use the internet, James, stop using Instagram, Snapchat, and all these different apps. If you're going to go that route, why don't you just use like Grindr or Scruff? Like, is that like too far fetched? Like, there are people that have made relationships out of hookup apps. And honestly, you're at the point now where if you continue to do this, this is going to continually be a problem and a pattern for the rest of your life. It's really, truly not that hard to get on a dating app or get on like Scruff or Grindr to meet someone. Because I can guarantee you the people that are on those apps are not the people that are going to be on Instagram and stuff. Like, there are people that use those apps that are on Instagram, but it's not going to be the same pool of people. And this is what keeps James Charles in the predicament that he is in. Like, I'm so just like baffled. We're about to get into the text messages, well, not text messages, the Instagram DMs and everything that James Charles sent this guy, you guys. It's truly unbelievable.
And that is what is so embarrassing. As an adult, it is my job and my responsibility to verify who I'm talking to, and therefore there is no one to blame for this other than myself.
Thank you, God.
To the guys involved with this situation, I want to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I added you, I'm sorry that I flirted with you, and I'm really sorry if I ever made you uncomfortable. It is completely unacceptable. I was being reckless, and after looking back and finally realizing that this was my own fault, I started doing a lot of thinking and reflecting to really try and figure out why I was actually allowing myself to be
this part.
So reckless
Listen.
in the first place. In all other areas of my life, my friends, my business, I like to think of myself as pretty put together and on top of things, and I couldn't understand why relationships were the one outlier. Why were they not working? Why was this area of me so different? And I finally came to a conclusion. It sucks, and it is ridiculously embarrassing to admit this, but I think I have to, and that is that I'm desperate.
Now, desperation will truly make you do crazy things. I get it. But when it comes to like talking to people that are minors, and I get it, they like spoof their age. They weren't what they said they were. And James Charles did take accountability for not investigating and looking further into the situation. But now there's this person that has came out and baited James. It's a straight person, and they exposed him all over Instagram. But basically, the DMs came out, and James Charles messaged him a whole bunch of different things. And he said, it's a really lucrative role. It's called My Boyfriend. Requirement 6'2", plus must love escape rooms, horror movies, and cuddling. Big dick, armpit hair. And I'm not going to knock James for that. There's people that love armpit hair. Like, I don't know why people try to rag on James for that. Yes, I have done it, and I think it's funny, but at the end of the day, there are people that have fetishes about armpit hair. Like, it could be worse. It could be like Salvo and that guy Edwin, like toe sucking and piss eating and all that different, like, at least James Charles isn't doing that. But he said an occasional FaceTime call, the salary is $0, but it's a good job offer, I think. And I feel like James really wants his own Nathan Schwant. Like, I feel like that is like his ultimate goal. If he could get someone that looked like Nathan Schwant, that was straight acting, because Nathan Schwant is not straight. I don't care what anybody says. If you put a pee-pee in your mouth, you're at least bi. I don't care. He then said, perks include cute boyfriend with a great personality and huge ass. Free living in a $10 million house in LA. And I get that the prices of housing are like really atrocious right now, but I don't think that James Charles's house is $10 million. Because I see that house and I see what I live in, and I just don't see $10 million. He said, fun travel opportunities, good head, and more. This is like, if you think about it and you dissect this is honestly so freaking cringe, because it's literally like he's laying out like a job opportunity for a potential boyfriend, and that is weird to me. That is very strange. Now, after James Charles was exposed by this guy, James did message him and tell him to go fuck himself. And like, I get James doing that. But what came next and what I woke up today to, honestly, just blew my mind, because the people defending James Charles because he was baited, that's one thing, but there's something completely different, you guys. So Charlie Gold messaged me this morning and she said, you need to go look at the likes of James Charles's Twitter. And I was like, okay, I haven't done that in a while. Like, I used to go look at likes because they're very indicative of what someone may be thinking or what side they're agreeing with or whatever. And to my shock and horror, I saw that someone named A Natural Disaster tweeted and said, okay, so here's the thing. James Charles has been predatory to young people in the past, but this is not an example of him doing something wrong. This man was going back and forth with James, taking pictures of secret conversations, knowing he was going to expose this. And James Charles liked this. So first and foremost, we need to break down the first part of this. The person said, okay, so here's the thing. James Charles has been predatory to young people in the past. You can't get any more of an admission of guilt than that. That is literally like someone putting a piece of paper in front of James Charles saying, hey, were you inappropriate with people that were young in the past? And him signing it saying, yes, I did. Just like the Twitter thing that he put out and then deleted. Like, why would he like this? Why would he like this? So not only are we dealing with him liking this tweet, it's the fact that he still continually puts himself in bad, poor situations. Like, there are so many people in the LGBTQ plus community that have been murdered just simply for being gay, but James Charles is now trying to hook a straight man. If a man is straight, you're not going to have a chance with him. I don't care what you think your fantasy is. I don't care what your fantasy is. At the end of the day, a straight man is not going to hook up with another man. It's just not. It's not. And if he does, he's not straight. The math ain't mathing here. And I don't understand why still, in this current year, when this has already been addressed by James Charles that he wasn't going to do this type of stuff on the internet, why we are here now. It makes no sense. There's absolutely no rhyme or reason as to why we're still dealing with James Charles doing this and the people defending this, because there's absolutely no reason for you to defend James Charles because he's openly admitted to the things that he's done in the past. And the fact that James Charles is still just comfortable DMing with people, like the first thing like I would have done would have been like close my DMs. Period, point blank, end of story. Like, nobody that doesn't know me would not be DMing me. That would have been like the first thing. But then you see James Charles doing all these giveaways and things where he has to have people DM him to send him the stuff. Like, that is just a pure opportunity for him to set himself up for failure. Now, I really want to address this. So there was a tweet thread that this person named Tommy Gabriel tweeted out, and it was all the receipts that James Charles sent these messages to this guy on Instagram that was like baiting him or whatever. And he said, James Charles is by no means a perfect individual, but everything in this thread shows two adults flirting with each other. The desperate reach to say that James Charles is making straight men uncomfortable is just regurgitating anti-gay stereotypes. And Manny replied to this and said, couldn't agree more. Okay, so first and foremost, it's not perpetuating a anti-gay stereotype. These people know that James Charles has been in controversy in the past and they want to capitalize on that. And I think that that's gross. But the mere fact that James Charles knows that and has admitted that in this video that I've played for you guys, that everybody has seen that he deleted, like, he knows that people are going to do that to him. So why would he even open himself up to that possibility?
I had the mentality that I could reach out to literally anybody and use my Explore page and For You page as a dating app, and eventually I would just happen to find the right person, but that's just not how dating works, literally at all. It's gross, it's weird, and it's desperation. When these videos started to come to light, power imbalance became a really large topic of conversation on social media, and rightfully so. In 2019, when I had my whole situation, I was accused of abusing my fame, money, and power to get what I wanted. And when I responded to that at the time, I said that that was disgusting and that I would never want to do that. And to this day, I still stand behind that sentiment 1000%. So when it was getting brought up again, I got really, really frustrated and was trying to understand, because I was thinking to myself, like, okay, I know that this situation shouldn't have happened. I know that this conversation shouldn't have occurred. I take responsibility for that. But at the same time, like, they DM'd you first. They lied to you. They flirted first. Like, you didn't use your fame, money, and power to get anything. But I've now realized that mentality is completely wrong, because a power imbalance can happen even when it's not intentional.
Like, why would he do that? What about this is perpetuating a gay stereotype? It's not. James Charles is that gay stereotype, because there are so many gay men out here that think that they're going to convert straight men. You cannot convert a straight man. It's like trying to turn water into wine. And unless you're Jesus, you're not going to do that. You're not going to be the one. You're not. And there have been so many gay people that have been murdered for this very thing. And James Charles, I have said this in multiple videos in the past, this is a very dangerous path that you're on. And if you don't stop, you're going to end up getting physically hurt. And I don't want to see that for you. I don't want to see another person in the community that I'm a part of, that I've been in my whole life, murdered because they can't just like work out in their mind that they cannot convert a straight man. It does not happen that way. It does not work that way. It is not like mathematically possible. So James Charles, you really need to calm down. You do. Stop messaging men on Instagram. Stop messaging men on Snapchat. Get on Bumble. Like, in the past, we've all seen that James Charles has talked about Bumble and how he allegedly like changed his gender to like something. I don't even know what it was at the time. It's happened so many times now that I can't even keep count or remember every single thing that it's happened in, because it's been that many times. And the fact that he sat down and filmed a whole video taking accountability and then deleted it, and now we're still doing this in 2023, it needs to stop, James. Please, I'm begging you, please stop for your own personal safety. This is not okay. This is not okay. Who's to say that he couldn't get into a DM with someone and they lead him on and he's okay with it, and then he meets up with them and they murder him? That would be a horrible ending for James Charles, and I don't want to see that for him. As much drama as he's been in, as much controversy and scandal that surrounds his name over this type of stuff, I would still hate to wake up to the news that James Charles was murdered because he was trying to hook up with the straight man. And that, at the end of the day, is what needs to stop. Please stop this, James Charles. And all the people enabling this and all the people defending this, thinking that it's okay just because this person is going along with this, does not, it's clear that they don't have good intentions anyway. And James Charles knows that because he's been set up before. He is literally putting himself in harm's way, and none of you understand that. And until some kind of tragedy happens, I don't think any of you are going to understand that, and I don't want that for him. I don't want to see that happen to him. So all of you people enabling this, Manny, Denisha Carter, all of you, you really need to reevaluate your stance and look at all the things that James Charles has done in the past, because I think, honestly, this is a cry for help, because he's already said that he's desperate. One of y'all need to find him a man, a good man, a good man. Find him a good man that is his age or older and let him do his thing. Because if something bad ever does come out about James Charles and he is injured or hurt or worse, I want you all to look back at the tweets where you said that this was okay, that he didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, maybe he didn't do anything wrong because the person wasn't underage, but he still put himself in harm's way. How many times can you grab a blade and it cut you before you realize that this is bad? And that's just what I'm trying to say, and that's the point that I'm trying to get at, you guys. I really just need people to stop defending James Charles, and I need him to stop messaging people on the internet, because I promise you, there are good people out there on the internet, but not when it comes to like celebrities and people that have money, and then they're offering up their $10 million mansion for them to live in LA. Don't. Just please stop. But you guys, please let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. I know this video is all over the place. It really was an impromptu video. I was going to sit down and like read all these different receipts and stuff, but I had to sit down and talk about this because this holding myself accountable video was a good video from James. And although I don't like the way that he had to address this, and I don't like that he put himself in this position to have to address this way, I don't want James Charles to end up hurt. And if he doesn't stop, he's going to meet the right one, and he's going to. And that would be incredibly sad, and I don't want to see that happen to him. But you guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, good, bad, or indifferent, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.